Hey guys, welcome to the channel today. First of all, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, we'd like to invite you to do that first thing so you can stay up to date with the latest happenings in the life of the car man. And also, if you haven't already liked our Facebook page and you need to communicate with the car man or maybe have questions for him that you need answered fast, go like our Facebook page. He's on that daily and he is able to get to your questions and respond much faster. So today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my personal experience and in my Toyota Camry, what the TPMS system is doing.
Wait a minute, what does TPMS mean, Jen? Don't be trying to shock me here with all these little letters. What does that mean?
That is the tire pressure monitoring system.
Okay,
in this car. You've probably seen these cars like this one. Most of the later models have them. I was told since the whole mess with the Explorer, the Firestone tires several years ago, that's when these systems really got into play, where they really watched them closer. But anyway,
they're actually, I mean, they have some benefits. They good for number one, safety, number two, fuel mileage. So there's some positives for them.
Yeah, definitely. But these tire companies don't like them, which I'm about to explain to you why. But so a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, I took my Camry, because here in Virginia we have state inspections, state safety inspections, and it was time for new tires. So I got some really kicking, nice tires put on my car. Great, everything's fine. No problems when I took it in, other than the tread was low. So, get the car back, and I have this flashing light. Not the light comes on and stays on, just a flashing light. After, I would say, maybe a minute, the light comes on and stays on solid. So like,
okay, so basically there's two different versions of what could be going on with your light, right?
Right, because in the past, if you have a Toyota, and it may be the same in a lot of different models, but if you have, my experiences with my Camry, and the light comes on by itself and it stays on, that's typically because you have low air pressure in one of your tires. If it's not a compact spare, in your spare tire, they're equipped with those sensors. If it is a compact spare, they don't have them.
Okay, so full-size spare has the monitor.
Yes.
And you will know this because the valve stems are made of
metal.
Yeah, so the valve stems are actually steel, and that is actually your sensor, correct?
Right.
Okay.
So not the typical rubber valve stem that
So if you have a rubber valve stem, this video is not for you.
Right. But in this case, the Camry videos and a lot of the Toyota videos, people seem to have a lot of the same issues. So, took mine in, got the tires put on it, get in the car to leave, and my tire pressure warning light starts flashing. Flashes for probably a minute, then it's on, it stays on. Called them back, they said, oh, just drive it for a little while, it'll go out. Okay. Pretty certain that 3 weeks later, something's not right. So actually took it to Walmart to have these tires put on it. And no, I know they're not mechanics, but they're very nice tires.
And we ran a scan that had failures to communicate, right front wheel. So
we knew that
we had a monitor. So they don't know that we know, but we knew.
Right. So we go back over there, and they're like, oh, well, probably because we need to just rescan. We need to put the computer under each wheel well, we need to just rescan it so that the computer can read the tires. Doesn't make sense, right, guys? No, it doesn't. Because I've changed my tires, obviously, on a 10-year-old car multiple times before, and this has never been an issue. So I call up Toyota, my dealer where I bought the car, and they said, no, if it is blinking, there's definitely something wrong with that system, which, as Carman said, we already knew. We had already scanned it. So they said more than likely they broke a sensor.
Now let's talk about that. So what you got to worry about, part of what this video is going to entail is, if you go get your videos changed, if you go get your tires changed somewhere, there is a way and a method to actually remove the rubber off the rim so you don't actually come in contact with the stem, which is actually the sensor.
Right.
And what basically happens is you get into these fast chains, and they're just in a hurry to flip that rubber over, and they end up busting those monitors. Now, they tried to pull a slicky on her, because instead of them coming out and saying, hey, look, we broke the monitor, it's actually a transponder, but if they instead of them admitting that, what did they do?
They tried to tell me that they replaced, actually they didn't tell me. I was reviewing the invoice and come to find out it says that they replaced it with a $3 rubber valve stem. Only my car doesn't have rubber valve stems.
And they're all for the exact same age. You can tell by looking at them.
Yes. So basically the car girl goes off. Goes to the manager of the store. Like, it didn't have a problem when I got it here. And you're going to fix whatever they did to it. So, to make a very long story short, today they fixed it. Sure enough, they wrote it off as a bad valve stem, but what happened was the guy that installed the tire on my right passenger side front broke the sensor. And he stuck a new sensor in there, but it was a universal sensor, which we have been told today that the universals are kind of spotty, like they don't work on Hondas at all.
Well, I can bring some clarity to that. So any kind of your electronics generally typically favor their OEM manufacturer. So, it's just different voltages and this, that, and the other. There's just little small specs that you don't usually generally get with a universal that can be ever so different. And cars don't like other general universal stuff. They like what their home base is. They like their own, especially Toyota. They're definitely Toyota oriented. Fords are like that too. They're very motorcraft oriented. But yeah, so the universal one is just kind of shabby. But if they do break this monitor, this is what it costs. It costs $110 for a Toyota to reflash. It's what they charge?
To reflash it, yes.
Now, if the monitor's broken, Toyota has to fix it and then reflash it. Now we're dealing with how much? About
$420 per tire if they were to break more than
So
one.
if you have an idiot doing your tires, this could run you a smooth $1,600. So that $50 you saved on the tires is hardly worth it.
Right. Or unless you're like me and you're going to go to the manager, and they were all too happy to fix my tire today, and they did replace the sensor with a universal sensor. And
so let's talk about how to actually, if your light comes on, guys, this is what you do. Number one, you check your tire pressure in all four of your tires that are on the ground. If you have a full-size spare, you're going to need to check the pressure in that as well, because it has a monitor as well. So if all four tires are checking well and your light has just came on, it's not flashing, you need only to start driving the car, and within a few minutes the light should go off. If in fact you break a monitor like they broke in this one, how you reset the system is, or the procedure that they'll probably follow should be as follows. They're going to replace the monitor or the transcender inside of the wheel, and once they do that, they're going to then have to reflash the information so the computer resees it. They'll plug a module in, and when they want to resend the ECM signal, you have a button inside of your car. This particular one is in the glove box, but they have them on dashes and different places. Just check your owner's manual. You hold it down until what?
They said you hold it down until it flashes 3 times, and then you drive the car at 19 miles per hour or higher speeds for about an hour.
Or up to an hour.
And
until it resets itself.
Until the light goes off. In my case, the light never went off, even after we had tried that. So it was because they broke the sensor inside of that wheel.
So, long story short, flashing light means we've got a problem inside the system, and you're not going to be able you're not going to be able to make that go away until we investigate a little further. If you've recently had tires and this has happened, then a good chance is there's a good chance they broke it. Number 2, if your light just comes on, very simply, check your tire pressure and all 4 of your tires and your spare and drive on. It should self-correct, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right, so what's the moral of this story?
Moral of this story is don't take the car to Walmart.
Well, we were kind of in
the nice tires. I really did get killer tires, but man, it
was one of those deals where they had overstock from somebody had returned them online, so they're just
high-end
yeah
vehicle.
And so I was just like, so we ended up getting them for Shoot, they were like 160 or 150 or something like that. And what do we pay? Like 90 or 80 something?
90. And I will say that the person in charge of the tire department today, she was very helpful, and she did tell me that if this universal sensor does fail at some point, call her back. She will then have me take the car to, I would take it to Toyota, and then bring her an invoice, and they'll pay it. So if you take your car in, guys, and you come out with that flashing light, or that flashing light kicks on shortly after you've had tires replaced, the chances are very, very high that they messed it up, and that is not a cheap bill. So you're going to want to follow up on that, and you're going to want to make sure that you watch those invoices closely to see if anything like, they replaced a valve stem.
There's no such thing as a valve stem replacement. That would be a whole monitor replacement.
Right.
So, of course, they didn't realize who they're dealing with to start with. So she brings it, and I'm like, yeah, I think we better reinvestigate this. I think we got some issues going on.
And we did.
What's his name, that whoever at Walmart that started there last week, he didn't quite have all the info, I guess, on.
Nah.
But, you know, guys, be careful. Be careful. Deal with people that are reputable, because what will happen is you will lose money, because you'll get in a position where they're tearing up your stuff and it costs you money to fix it. And if you don't have information to say this is what's wrong, then it's going to fall back. They're going to say, like they tried to tell her, your car's old.
Yeah, she's
it
like,
could be.
well, it's 9 years old. These things. I'm like, no.
That's right. They're just pointing the finger.
Didn't happen. It happened when your guy broke it, and sure enough, that's exact. He broke the sensor, replaced it, did not tell me, and wrote it off as a valve stem replacement.
Now, how often do these things break? Not very often. I mean, you'd be really. I mean, it's unusual. It's unusual. It's just a very simple little transceiver in there, so I don't see them go bad very often, do you?
No, don't sweat it. Just be aware that if, like I said, if you do take it in and there is suddenly an issue.
Yeah. Get your
follow
tires
up on
done.
that,
Be
guys.
careful.
Save your money. Don't, I could have easily taken this car to Toyota yesterday and $1,600 later had the same thing fixed that someone else broke. So.
Meanwhile, nothing but love from the car man, and look at this girl's hair. She just got her did. I'm liking it.
It feels much better. So.
Yeah, I like your hair. I'm kind of feeling it. Anyway, hit the like button, and what else? We're gonna be seeing you soon. We got other stuff going on.
We do. Starter on a Sebring.
Oh, don't even start. I'm gonna leave it on that note, guys. Nothing but love from RVA. See ya.
Later.